call I mean, everybody mega for a job. Before we pray there, we should also make a job for the appellee there before we pray. This is the same thing that I'm going to send out to you people in the world. So you see how I've been using it or how I am using it. The incense that purifies and cleanses energies.
I said no sound. You are complaining of no sound.
No sound, then it should be from here.
Volume.
Put this
Increase
thing
the volume back.
There's no sound. Still, if you can hear us, please let us know. If you cannot hear us, let us know. Look at me, a problem. At the last minute, then people start to change things, and then it becomes a problem. Every time. Please, if there is still no sound coming, let us know. If there is sound coming, let us know. Can you hear me?
Charlie, try your one. So, sit down over now. Let's see.
Elisa, are you hearing me?
Definitely.
Can you hear the sound?
No, Papa.
There's no sound still?
Yes.
There's no sound? But what could be the problem why no sound?
It could be.
Okay, our engineers are working on it. We are having some challenges with the sound, but then our engineers are working on it. So please bear with us, and we'll be going on to the place to pray now. So please come with me to where I'm going to pray. One camera for us, straight away. Sound. Everybody say no sound. Okay, well, we are not having sounds now, so we cancel it and we are okay. Let's go on from there, wherever you changes from YouTube back to Facebook and all Okay, we are going live once more. And if you can hear me, let me know. Because maybe the sound is okay now. If it is not okay, just let me know. Because I heard one sound. Okay, now the sound is fine. Okay, we are transmitting today from the Volta region, Bokor precisely, from the shrine of Jopata. One other shrine that I am in charge of, because I have never been here. I have not been here for a while. There's nothing going on. So that's it. We're getting down to transmit from here, and after the transmission.
What's the password?
I don't even know. He sets password anyhow. So then to be very, very.
So if you have questions and any question that you want to ask us, please get your questions ready.
Sarah, please come and set it up and send it. I beg you.
The foundation of this house, where the spirit that
Sarah,
man himself
please.
and buried in the ground here to protect this house.
Can you send it?
Get your questions ready.
Bless you, man.
I'm a vote to you. You have to any feeling. Maybe you're ready. I'm a vote to you. You have to any feeling. I'm a vote to you. You have to any feeling. I'm a vote to you. You have to any feeling. I'm a vote to you. You have to any feeling. I'm a vote to you. You have to any feeling. I'm a vote to you. You have to any feeling. The rebel feeling. Talk with feeling. Mama with feeling. Eh, nyatepe. Meyo ekule kwa zaleko. Ablaoli. Ablao vodua meyo ratetete ocho ba me kenyi fi. Kafa mama ele fi. Ele ablao vodua nu. Eko bezo movile. La kemele oche minya yo ablaoli kwa. Ne tonami. Nyatepe. Mi zomo mi cho kete ge ba dore hokwe. Ko ameda na fide. Agbebo. Eni wo pe kujo bi bale. Hokwe dream. Ma we wa jeji o. Yakofon, nkufon, enufon. enya vo susuvo akoplomdo ba ke omega fana mo agbo omega fana mo america ke agbo nyami de otodo no do susuvo na fi ke bia so bodu wo le jire o me yo ajadu yodu mi ba mi place yẹn lo ajadu yodu mi ba mi place yẹn ajadu yodu mi ba mi place yẹn ko amena ko susuvo ko nkuvo nuvo agbo omega jeje omega nyu kone gbale tanye apene gbanam ebinyo no ku dola amene jabe menam amemi da mavorio no ke bia so bodu ampolos ewo tu le dire ne degbera me dire kare toy o ablo le be fia ni ku le ko be fia to bojo pata be fia ni akai be fia me yo kotokoli donko ewo kunu maku agbenu gbenu to no le jo frata mani fifini nkuma bisin drama yo kofi to jabaku o chotu akofi o cho hen kofi atra me yo kable ya tepe ko abera no ajoge anu afide agbego ni dama ba du ime ya ko souvent un pouvons nouveau be ya ko plom ebe edone jeji nya na jeji ahene jeji ko jeji ame me gbo ya mi de le abla wole be nkome le kule ko be nkome la zale ko be nkome le togbe ahungbato be nkome le togbe jopata be nkome ne wo khebia so bodu wo tu le dire e de gbeda mi jile tai e ko me va fi de me va fi me va gble nu la mo va ko souvent ko pla mo e ta me va de enye ntoto susu mi me lori fe do va do ile me de nenya tepe e ke bia so bodu wo tu le dire e de dire tai are you seeing me? Are you people okay? Eh? Sorry. Who hot all? They have all.
Please, don't raise it. Let it stand, okay? And then move it forward. I want it to be shaking.
I want to get the right position so that when I fix,
Yeah.
every action will be.
But when you raise it,
You understand?
We were removing the petrol change Mayo Vigne Crucial, Edwin Codoba, here, my Mocosifonia, your Mesa Chaco, Abroshi, and Banyu, Mayomi, Mayo Coffee Mensa, your Tobia Muji, Mayo Johnson, Cofinabo, Ankeskini, Bafaha, good to good. Mayo Blossom, Yablo, no, Wajakli, good to good, not toss if you do Kakamayo, Mayo, the Lapa drop before, and I found out the Guinea Ben Lao Ham. Oh, Mayomi, I trade you, Brahim, Beta Sekis, Benu, Bafaha. Not the pay, Mayo, Dangabo, Dine, Kitiko, Damanism, and Danyam, Zadra, Mekele. Danye vio menu, danye afoleo menu, natepe, anyaka kwega de meyo mana meyo jetole meyo tije chikwechi ibo meyo atito meyo echigwa gwa natepe meyo tobo gbagba mi mafa na kwera gbe bi la gbe ase la gbe ba meyo abochi sakra kama twa ba ya dogo okutokoli ronko okunu maku agbero ni gbere ko no le cho frantamani fifrin ku abisi nkra meyo ko fito jagba ku ocho to akofi ocho he kofi meyo mi abete meyo agbla bi la bi amu ya mu mo ma to meyo no 100 no dre travel ne menya no dre travel ne menya meyo mi akeke yo hala mata hala ya tepe nwa bubu gate meyo sasalo enu peta mo no abo adru meyo mi opete eviko meyo la tata ni matanya tonye mo kopete kwa yo meyo yo amerika kwa ni opete meyo ya tepe se ke eviko meyo tonyo bi ko ya bi le ka bon koko opete to me ba egbe ni ba de ni abedume ma do gbera na mi ma yo mi ni akokuro onye egbemele Facebook live to hokwe le ni ba to me hokwe le jo pata na ponu ko me le mi apete yo be mi afo mi anyo be mi atini ayo ahana ni godo mi awezo be kaka do zo ni po gogo me je gbeta yin jo pata o le gbo jere ran jere gbo do go kwa obedo le jigbe mi apo kokolo re la fida kokolo chu mi ko de kana si e ni bo ase mpo yo aha no po ado na kokolo ja chena mi acho kana pele ni fika pia aha no po ado de mele mi asiwa oh kama kokolo no le komile na mzre kama chuna apeli nye pia ade mafu ado ma apele le mi agbo me free yo ma tufe mi le na mzre kama chuna apeli nye ma tufe ya gaji yo aha mafu ado jati fafai ahare mi no mi amure keto godo mi amure keto ne ketore no kule mi amu alo be keto me no amure amebe agbeme voa gbede o dale lo fone na no la ko me ton mi ko bede mi awu na file ni mi ko iko wu na je pata ye o to enye ko bebe tonto ta jachi enye mi atolo amene fan mi no mi ato fifi la ko le mi ko ba for mi pojo pata lo ko me na mi ko hen be ko kumesa mina hem dokpata be he la u he ele come ni kolila
Ega da wo
ni ko le mi asia
mama fue kojú ẹ
ti lo ko ma lo kojú
alanyin gigi la fi
So where we are now, we haven't been here for a long time, so we have to feed the apeli. So we are going to feed the apeli now before entering the shrine itself. We are sorry we may not take you into the shrine to see everything, but you can talk about your questions and answers finish before going into the shrine. Okay, go carpena. Bokor for me, and no point. kai mi ko de kokura joge ka kekere pe ko ba dare mi bota mi abe ketore ti mi ayo mere mi able go na megavo no be koko yi ma no de no fon de kai de cavera do ku mi awe wi
Ache.
allo
Ache.
oh nyatepe kokoro tu je yin re ya me ko ba ba na apeli pe jopata e o le egbo jira do ta eje to mi po ba o di mi po kokoro tu ko bebe to enye be dudu mi a ni le ple gba ko ana jopata mejo kokoro tu eje ile ko le kuplo edo enya ahe eku dollar me yasi ma jenu na me yo piti program me di enyu na me de oh na amede eku bi ale do bi ale nya bi ale de oh apeli akona mi mekplɔ tɔ enya atre eku dollar me yasi ma jenu na soro nye kple vinyo le gbe la pe ame sia be ke program le nyu ndi na me de mekplɔ kple do kple nya na me de ko nkuvo susuvo ta me vo de enye ku jovi kpa kple ni ma fe kple nonyi la wuri pe na me lo ne apeli de ko jo kita ni akona mi lo mekplɔ ku edo enya ahe eku dollar me yasi ma jenu kplɔ pe ke le miawo kple do kunyo na evinyo la pe le gbe la fisia fi no to nyo me yo bete die nyu na me keke akon ku fo be akodo le mi ato mojo patapa ko la pe le nko me de na me de wonu me de ni me yo mi kore me akoda ni sia na me ma ti ko ba Facebook book la direct to do ba go be cho ba si ka na mbe bi ni wotara o traffic kɔkɔkɔ jɔpata bɛ kpɔ mi bɛ ka kɔ da ɖe ame dzi da ɖe to mi trɛ fia kɔsa ame yiwo nɔ nuƒo mi kɔ ɛdɛ ɖe teƒe kura ata kɔkɔ da ɖe sayidi dzi ɖe fi sayidi ata nɔ nuƒo kɔ kamera yi ɖe sayidi gbɔ ne nɔ nuƒo ɛnɛ mi tso bɔ tɛ ne ba kɔ
Good afternoon. We are live on Facebook. This is the recognition session. We are live from Bokor. Papa is performing a ceremony to feed the apeli of the house and pray to the ancestors. From here, we'll be happy to answer your questions. Please send them one when we are done with the prayers to the ancestors. Giving them the take it from there. Please don't forget to share. Don't forget to share everything by way of sharing on your social media channels, Facebook, YouTube, so that people get in touch with us and watch us. Thank you. The sacrifice is done. Papa will pray. Please don't forget to share. Don't forget to share so that more people will watch. So we'll go to the rest of the ceremony to see Papa finish.
Yo, apeli ile kutina hapo. Ngale bubu chobela mendo. Echibu nalo, ni ala keto bon kumele. Ya komi akpo. Mina mechidema akula si patapata na ma atere chot na kuchida na makula si mi boy Are questions coming? Okay.
Hilarious is live from Amsterdam and he says hi.
How are you, Larry?
Senna Israel Ba also says hi. John Arnold also says hi. Femi K. Neti from Carolina says hi. Alafia from the Carolinas.
Arabians of Carolinas.
Says Carolina.
Alafia from Carolinas. Okay. Alafia to all of you. We are doing voodoo Alafia's rituals today. So,
Christian Josie says greetings.
greetings to all of you. Yeah.
Nikwe Thompson asks, what is the ceremony?
We are feeding Nikwe Thompson. The ceremony today here in the Volta region, Kokwe precisely at the shrine of Jokpata and Akai is to feed the spirits, because for the voodoo that's been here for almost 2 years, we haven't fed them. So we have come here to feed them. That's the ceremony.
Senna Ijaba, please, can you educate us on what ceremony or ritual is going on?
And that's what I'm saying. We are feeding Jokpata. I have Jokpata in Hokwe and I have Jokpata in Accra. There are 2 shrines. And we have not been here. Senna, we have not been here for almost 2 years. So we came today because it is overdue for us to feed the voodoo here too. So that's why. Because Ajo Popo, no Ajo.
Montiel says, I want to watch, but I have linguistic challenges.
We don't speak Spanish. We don't speak French. We are all only speaking our every language. We are speaking English. So if you don't understand you don't understand English, it is difficult for us to say anything because we can't speak. The people who speak French are not here today.
Ifadara says, salute, Papa.
Hello, Ivadara. How are you, my own? How are you? It's from Nigeria, from Carolina. Yoruba say Bawoni. How are you?
Onyeka Silva also wanted to know what is happening. That you just explained.
Yes, we are feeding the voodoo in this shrine here. We travel all the way overnight to come about 400 kilometers to come and feed the voodoo here.
Ifadara says the greenery is rich and beautiful.
Yes, we are in an old shrine. We are in an old shrine, so that's why it's beautiful. The house is. We hope these palm trees that you have seen will grow up and then they'll give us shade in the. We hope that the palm trees will grow. We even have a baobab tree growing in the house, which is very surprising. That baobab, which is only grows in the forest, came to be growing in the house. I don't know. Small one. I don't know how the baobab came into this shrine. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. When I saw it.
No. Baobab.
How are you? What it means is that the energies that are surrounding you are not positive. So things that you are doing do not become. You don't get positive answers easily from the things that you are doing and your challenges. You cannot easily overcome them because the spirits that are negative, what they do is that they block positive things from coming to you. That's all that it means. When you are blocked from receiving positive things and everything you are doing is always negative, That's what they will tell you, that you have negative spirits around you. And for that reason, you need to find a way to remove them from you so that positive things or positive spirits can come closer to you.
Dada MD says, good afternoon. I'm watching you from Tema.
Hello, Dada. Good afternoon. How are you? We are in the Volta region today. We didn't transmit from Accra, but then we haven't been here for a long time, so it is just good. And we are using the transmission to feed the voodoo that are in this house. Oh, Abuchi.
Ajua Asante said, Asante, why was the chicken sacrificed?
We say we are feeding the spirit. So what do you use in feeding the spirit? Why do you say, why we ask that question, why was the chicken sacrificed? What do you mean by that? They say they are feeding spirits and they kill a chicken, and you are asking me why was the chicken sacrificed? We are feeding the spirits with it. Voodoo eats blood. Voodoo is not church.
Why Aman Van, that's music. Who are all the people Papa was calling?
Ama, Togbinyo, Mamanyo, Ama, Mamanyo, Togbinyo, Vinyo, Tordinyo, Funyo, Yobonko Yomele. I was calling my grandfathers, grandmothers, my ancestors in general, because I have been teaching you something. I've been teaching to people something that when you call ancestors, you must mention the name of the ancestor you are calling. You don't just pour drink and say, oh, my ancestors come and drink, or you don't just cook and say, oh, my ancestors come. You must mention the name of the ancestors that you are feeding. Then they know that they are the ones you are feeding. So I was calling my grandfathers, my grandmothers, my mother, my father, my brothers, my sisters, my in-laws, sister-in-laws and brother-in-laws, those that I can remember. Those are the ones I was calling to be present at what I am doing.
Amma also asks, what is Alafia?
Alafia means energy. Alafia is a greeting in Hausa and a Northern language. But then there is a Voodoo Alafia, which is a Northern spirit. The same Voodoo people call Goro Voodoo is Alafia. So Alafia, it means health, or Agbara in Yoruba, strength. So that's what it is, Alafia. So it's a greeting as well as an expression of health.
Dada MD, I respect these Volta people so much. Evans Jana told me today, where are you? The environment is different.
We are in the village. This is where we come from. It's our village. We are in the village. We are not from Accra. Accra is where we are settled, but we came from the village. So we are back to the village, our roots.
Amma says hi to all of you. Thank you for all this work.
Thank you, Amma. When you come to Ghana, please visit me.
Stacy says good morning from Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay, Jason.
Stacy,
hello. How are you doing?
George says hello.
Hello, Awoku. How are you?
Okay. Femi K. says he wants to know whether the spirit they're praying to are protectors.
Every spirit protects, defends, and also makes you shine. There are some spirits that are more of a protective than shining, but then they have almost everything in them. The spirit we were praying to today is just the voodoos that are with me all along, but then some I have placed here in the Volta region, so that whenever there is any emergency and I am not here, the people can come and pray here and things will happen. So yes, it's a protective spirit. It's called Togbe Jokbata.
I say from Washington DC. I'm Cuban. Respect, Baba Oscar Jose Pons from Washington DC. He says, I say from Washington.
Thank you very much.
Adrian Dawson wants to find out. Okay, she's just saying that she wanted to watch. That's what she said.
Okay, we thank everybody who is watching us. So bring your questions. We will not be having a very long section today because we have to concentrate on the works that we are going to do today.
Nana, sorry. Nana Professor says he's watching from Maryland, US.
Hello, Nana. We are live here, and we thank you for joining us, Nana Kokosachi. Thank you for joining us. Today we are in a different environment, and you can also see that I am not dressed because here the heat. We are like in a valley area, and the heat is very strong, so I can't wear anything to feel very good. So that's why you see me bare-chested. I'm not trying to be bare-chested, but if I'm not, I can't do this. Sorry for doing that now.
Suya Milton wants to know the use of the plant, the baobab tree.
Oh, baobab is one of the most respected trees in Africa. In our language, it is said that the baobab is like the pot of wisdom, where your hands can never go around it. You can only hold some portion of it. So, nunya ajido onyo asime tuneo. So the baobab is, if you go back, you go into the dictionary and you go into books, you will know, you will know more stories. It's connected to spiritual world. In East Africa, it is said that when ancestors die, they go and live under the baobab tree in some of the cultures. But then in our culture here, it's used as a respect of knowledge and wisdom.
Papa, please, at what interval will you advise one to take a cleansing bath or herbal bath? That's from Lieutenant Islam.
A cleansing bath or herbal bath. Oh, when you are doing things and things are not good, and maybe they have even given you voodoo, and the voodoo is not working for you, you can't see the voodoo working. That means something is blocking you. It's not that the voodoo is not good or the voodoo is not working, but then there must be something that is around you, needs to be cleaned or cleansed so that the door will open for the voodoo to be able to work freely. That's it. So whenever you are doing things and trying everything and you are not finding a solution to them, then you need a spiritual herbal bath. But you also understand that the herbal baths are different. They are not just one type of herbs. There are different types of herbs, and each herb, the combination of each combination does different work. If it is to attack people, yes, these are the herbs to you. If it is to repel people, these are the herbs to use. So each herb, each combination of herbs has this. So when things are not going on well with you, we will use the ones that will cleanse and repel negativity or negative energies from you, so that your inner self, your esse, and the spirits that are with you can work well.
By feeding your papa, what type of changes will you see?
No, that's but you don't have jokpata, so you don't ask that kind of question. If you have jokpata, then you ask me what kind of changes you have jokpata. You don't have jokpata, so the changes that I have been seeing for over the years, I know. That's why I feel it. If you also have jokpata, I'll tell you the changes that you will see, because you don't have jokpata, so you can't ask me that question.
Papa, safe travels from Kadi Fisher.
Oh, thank you very much, Kadi. How are you?
Does the spirit understand? Do the spirits understand when you are not around to feed them? The father.
Yes, they understood that if I'm not around, but then I pray every day. If I'm far away, I call them. Wherever in the world that I am, I can pray and call them. And they understood that I am calling them and feeding them. But when I come physically, they just like your father or your mother or your good friend or your boyfriend or your girlfriend is far away. You can be talking with your girlfriend on the phone. You can be having conversations and chatting and all this thing. That's a different feeling. That means you know that you are in touch. But then when that person comes physically, the feeling is also different. When your mother travels for some time, or your father or your friend comes back, of course you may be talking with your friend, but then when the friend comes physically, that feeling is different. The same thing, because spirits are not different from human beings. The only difference between human beings and the spirit is that they are invisible. We can't see them. While we humans are, or the physical world is visible, that you can see. So this is the only difference. There's no difference. So it's just that same kind of feeling. So if your father comes back home after a long travel, won't you be happy?
Antonio is watching us.
Oh, Antonio, how are you? You were saying you were going to do the video editing. I'm saluting you. Thank you very much.
Kwame some of us don't know any name of our ancestors, but we will have to pray to them.
Do you know your father's father? Do you know your mother's father? Do you know your father's mother or your mother's mother? That's alone is their ancestors. If they are dead, ask them. If they are alive, if they are not dead, then ask them what is their name of their father and their mother. Those are your ancestors. You don't need any ancestral name anywhere. You don't need come looking for your ancestors anywhere. So long as you can know the name of your father's father, your mother's father, you have got ancestors. And if they are still alive, ask them what is the name of their fathers or their mother. You don't go looking for your ancestors as if there is something called ancestors that you see them. Once your father and your mother are alive or if they are dead, ask them who gave birth to them. Finish. You have ancestors to pray to. You don't need going around. This is the problem in the diaspora, and people are challenging that if you are not coming from ancestors, you go. Everybody has an ancestor. Even white people, whoever is their ancestor is there. The word ancestor was not an African word. It's a European or English word. So if you think that the white people don't have ancestor, then you are wrong. Everybody has an ancestor.
Sena sent a message on the unity talk page that they really are working to translate everything you say for the Spanish people, so they should send their questions.
Okay, those who are speaking Spanish and French, Sena and Pele are in Tokyo, Japan now at the moment, and they are working on translating your questions into French and into Spanish. So please send your questions directly by typing it, and they will be able to translate and answer you. Or whatever I am saying, they will let me know. I will answer, and they will translate it to you. So people who are having language challenges, please go ahead. Send your informations, yeah. And Sena and Pele, if you are watching me, tell your mother that I say happy birthday to her.
Willie Kwame says, "Toby, you could have invited me on this trip. I love the environment. I hope to join you next time."
Yes, Toby, I am an old hunter. I don't tell people where I pass. So when I travel, I don't tell people when I am traveling or when I am not traveling. Hunters don't teach people where they sleep.
The father says, "Excellent."
Thank you very much, Ifa Zara. Thank you.
Tiffany Mama says, "Thank you for trying your best to revive African traditional."
Mami Sewa, thank you. We are in your grandfather's hometown. We are here. We are here today. We are transmitting. So the time you called me this morning, I was on the way coming. Thank you. Thank you for your comment. I'm very grateful. When I come back, we will talk.
Andre Kimbuta says he's watching from South Africa and he's a Cameroonian.
Andrew Kimbuta, you say you are from Cameroon, but you live in South Africa. Hello, how are you? Thank you for joining our Facebook Live on Revolution. Please, what you should do now, please try to share whatever we are doing now. Share on your platforms and ask your friends to share so that people can share, because this is a special ritual we are doing, or special Facebook Live. And you can see we are not in Accra, we are in the village. You can see the environment, how it is so peaceful. Yeah, so please share. Everybody should share.
Bridge of watching you from Ohio, Columbus.
Watching from Ohio, Columbus. What is that?
Owusu Charles.
Owusu Charles. Charles, how are you? Thank you for joining us, and I wish you very well. And I wish you can ask some questions that will be useful to you on this ancestral path.
Nana Kokoseki says, one day I will visit you there. Thank you very much.
Nana, whenever you come to Ghana, come to me. My shrines doors are open to receive you. So please, anytime you are in Ghana, please come.
Brian Abin says, good afternoon to you, or watching you from Accra.
Secho, you came to Accra? You didn't tell us. Okay, thank you. We are transmitting from Hawaii today. So you will see us in Accra by the nightfall.
Ifadara says, please spell the name of the tree, please.
The baobab? Yes. Baobab is B-O-A-B-A. B-A-O He said B-A-O-B-A, baoba. That is how it's called in English. We will call it ajidoti in Ewe. Ajido in Ewe, but in English it's called baoba.
Maria Maya says hello and thank you.
Yeah, Maya, how are you? Thank you for watching or joining us. Yes.
I am in Ohio, US.
Ohio, US. Yeah, thank you for joining us.
I would like to know when young children or babies pass away, do they become ancestors or do they have a different role because they didn't live very long?
Everybody who has a physical body and has a soul, because everybody that has a physical body has a soul. When you die, that soul or that inner spirit or that destiny, the spirit of destiny that came with you into the world is what, when it passes into the other world, is what we call ancestors. So children too are ancestors. So long as they are no more in the physical world, they become ancestors. And because they had a mission before coming into the world. They came from a world into our world, and then when they pass on the way, they left back into that world. So they are ancestors.
Antonio says hello everybody. Greetings to Christopher. My regards to the ancestral home.
Oh, thank you, Antonio. We couldn't come here before. Is it Antonio Angelo?
Yes.
We could not come to Hawaii before you left, but when you come next time, we will come. All of us will come here and spend some few days. It's a very peaceful place.
He says he's in Netherlands.
Yeah, okay. You are in the Netherlands now. Okay. Okay, my regards to Brigitte.
Okay. Munako Kosechi says, what is the when you compare divination from possession of voodoo and the use of alafia, what is the difference?
Alafia is also voodoo. Nana Kokosachi. Alafia is a voodoo. So there is not different of comparing. Alafia is a voodoo, but the origin of Alafia is from the northern people or from the Fulanis or the wherever the north. But that's how it came to the Aves. But then Aves have made it their own. So Alafia also is a voodoo. It is not anything else than a voodoo, because when they form the Alafia, they are forming the Alafia voodoo, or what we call Jokbata or Goro voodoo. Some people call it Kunde, some people call it Ble Kunde. It has so many different names, but it's the same voodoo. When they form it, they use herbs, just like how all other voodoos are formed, by combining different herbs. So the herbs that are combined to form the Alafia, that's why it's different from another voodoo, because they are different herbs, but they are all, the base of every voodoo is herb.
We have a question from YouTube.
Yeah, you should be answering somebody should be concentrating on the YouTube questions, and you concentrating on this one, so that we can know where we are coming. Kofi, you take the YouTube questions, and then when Said asks for a while, then you can also say, okay, now question from YouTube, then you ask me, then I'll answer that one too. So we make it so that everybody will benefit. Yeah. Can you give me the YouTube questions now? Hello, we are now on two different platforms. We are on the Revolution platform, and we are also on African Magic Temple on YouTube. So some questions are also coming from the YouTube. So we want to address those questions as well. Any question from there?
Prince Henry from YouTube. Human sacrifice ever involved in any of other African belief systems?
Every culture in this world, from the Mayans, from the Incas, and to the Africans, there had been human sacrifices. But today, no one is doing human sacrifices. That's why we are using chickens and goats and all these things. So every culture, even the white man's culture, there had been human sacrifice. Recently, they have discovered so many young people who were killed about 300, 400, 500 years ago by clubbing their head in Britain in archaeological discovery. So every culture had a human sacrifice at one time in their spiritual beliefs.
Question from YouTube. Sam
Tusa, yes.
What is the difference between a shrine and a fetish?
what is the difference between a shrine and a fetish? What is a fetish? I want to ask him. I don't know. You tell me what fetish is, then I'll explain to you what shrine is.
He says that's for YouTube.
Yeah, is it finished for YouTube? Okay, go on to Facebook.
Jane Tiffany Mamisawa Apofu says people think their ancestors are their relations which were in Noah's time.
Noah. Noah is not having any relationship with an African man. My grandfather came from this village. Where does he have any relationship with Noah? If I look at myself in the mirror, do I look like Noah? Stop deceiving yourselves. Look at yourself in the mirror. Your face look black. And Noah's generation look like white with long nose. And you are telling yourself that is your grandfather. Are you stupid? How can you think like that? I don't mind them. Let them be thinking like that. Those who want to be Noah's children, they should be. My grandfather is called Bobochi.
How do you know whether your ancestors are around you?
Because I'm a spiritualist, I know. Because I am a spiritualist, I know that my ancestors are around me. When they are not around too, I know. If you also want to do, then you become a spiritualist or practice something, then you realize whether they are around you or they are not around you.
Okay. Alsecha Goldstein, greetings from Piattville, Maryland, US.
Oh, thank you very much, Alseta.
Yes.
What's the name?
Alseta.
Alseta, good evening. How are you? Thank you for joining us. We are very happy and grateful for you joining us on this Revolution platform, Facebook Live.
To make offerings to ancestors, do you just feed the ground or do you have specific consecrated items that you use in feeding them?
Who is asking that? Alseta. The truth about the thing is that the Bible, which is the book that everybody regarded as a spiritual book, the Bible, which is regarded as a spiritual book, even said that you came from the earth or from dust and you return to dust. I don't know whether you have read it or you have ever heard it before. So when our ancestors are dead, or when our people are dead and we regard them as ancestors, they have been placed into the dust. So we pray into the dust. There is no other place for you to, there's nothing you have to put down and pray to ancestors. You pray into the dust from which they came and to which they have gone into.
Abdul Haq says, nice program.
Call the name properly so I can know what name.
Abdul Haq.
Abdul Haq. Yes, Abdul Haq. How are you?
Edem Kofi says, how do I get in touch with you, Tommy?
Our information is on the Facebook, on Revolution, on African Magic Temple. You can, if you go onto our page, you will see all the ways in which you can get to us. So please go there, you will find us.
Wilfred Doji wants to
Doji or Goji? Doji.
He wants to know whether you can command money.
No, I'm not a money-making magician. I'm not a money-making spiritualist. You go to Malam, they will help you.
Can you give us your opinion on why many scholars use Benin as the cradle of voodoo? That's from Van Perry in the US.
Okay, I don't have know why people use because the voodoo language or voodoo is even and for people who call spirit voodoo, and because in Benin or Benin, or formerly called Dahomey, which is in Ewe, Da means snake, Home means home of snakes. And the same thing it means in four language. A lot of people on this other side, like Ghana, Togo, and all these things, there's many Christians, and people have kind of abandoned our traditional spirituality. But the people in Benin have strongly stayed with it, and they try to continue the practicing of voodoo, which is the spirituality and the culture of the Eves and the Fon people. The Ewe and the Fon are cousins. So when they speak language, there's so much similarity in their language. So what happened is that people are still strongly in the voodoo culture or practice in Benin. That's why a lot of time people say they will go to Benin. That doesn't mean that voodoo does not exist in other parts of the Ewe land. Everywhere in the Ewe land, as well as in the Fon land, there is a voodoo. But people are not doing it. People may be going to church, but they have voodoo in their rooms and in their distance, but you will not know. Voodoo is Ewe culture, it's Fon culture. So some people, because of the promotion of voodoo in Benin, a lot of people go there for. But then here, as today, if I should tell you the truth, there's a lot of tricks and illusions and deceit in the voodoo that people are presenting, because a lot of people don't know the difference between magic, entertainment magic, and spirituality. So people are thinking that if somebody can demonstrate magical tricks, then that person is powerful. And that is convincing and fooling people to think that when they go to Benin, because there's a lot of tricks in Benin voodoo worship. And unless you are part of it, you will not know. So you will think that whatever they are doing, they have power. So people go there. I mean, does it matter where you find your savior? Wherever you find it, that's where you will go. Any YouTube questions, please?
Yes. Tosan is insisting. I understand one cannot be moved from place to place, while a fetish can be moved. Ogun in Cuba, I guess, would be a fetish, but I know of Ogun in Africa that cannot be moved. That I think is a shrine.
Oh, my brother, you are mistaken. Ogun in Cuba and Ogun in Africa is the same Ogun. There's no difference between Ogun in Africa and the Ogun in Cuba or anywhere else. Ogun is Ogun. If the people who are practicing it or looking after it, or who has the shrine are not able to do what they can do, that doesn't change the nature of Ogun. So what you are thinking is not correct. Spirit is spirit. It can be in any part of the world at any time. It depends on you who is commanding it. So Ogun in Africa and Ogun, where do you think the word Ogun comes from? It came from Africa. It is not Cuban word. Those words are not Cuban words. They are African words. So you should understand that it is the same thing. If the person who has his shrine says that because I have set my shrine and voodoo Ogun in my shrine, because it has been made into clay or whatever, I cannot move it. And somebody also has made his Ogun in such a way that it can be movable from one place to another. There's no difference in it, because it is the same Ogun.
Some Tosan again. It's a fetish that can be moved as effective as a shrine. In your tradition, is it possible for Cubans to have Ogun, or is the shrine in African the only Ogun?
There's no shrine in Africa called Ogun Shrine. Everybody has his own Ogun in their area. So which one are you talking about? In Africa, there is Ogun. And even in my shrine in Accra, I have a gu, but we don't call it Ogun, we call it a gu in our language. So what are you trying to, I don't know what you are trying to say, I cannot understand. Shrine is the place where spirits live. That's what is called shrine. Shrine is not a spirit. The place where they put spirits is called shrine. Shrine is not a spirit. It's a building in which they put spirits. The spirit is not the shrine. It's only lives in the shrine. Go back into the dictionary and find the meaning of shrine.
Jean Philippe says, nice watching from Finland.
Oh, thank you very much, Finn. We are grateful that you join us.
Yeyu Omo Shango says, I'm watching from Chicago and I have Orishas.
Omo Shango, thank you. You have Orisha. Thank you very much. In Ewe, we don't have Orisha. In Voodoo, we don't have Orisha. We have Voodoo. Orisha is a Yoruba word for spirit. And in Ewe, the word for spirit is called Voodoo. So Orisha and Voodoo may be the same thing. But then we don't call them Orisha in our part of the world.
Thank you for this African reawakening. Please, what is ancestors' money and how does it look like?
In African traditional spirituality, there is nothing called ancestors' money. People borrow this one from Chinese. Chinese are the ones who are giving heaven money and send money to your people in heaven. We don't do it in Africa. There is nothing like that called, at least the voodoos that I have been introduced to for the past so many years, we don't have anything like you are sending money, there's a money for ancestors' money. Yes, when you are doing a ritual, they may say, okay, especially when they are doing poverty ritual for you, they may ask you to get money. Use the money to wipe away poverty from yourself, and then you place it in front into some basket. They do all the ritual. So we leave the money outside for people to come and take. Whoever picks that money has picked part of your poverty. Then you will be free. But to say there is ancestral money like it's in Chinese, it's Chinese culture. A lot of people in the diaspora are mixing everything. And then they are calling it voodoo, people are calling it voodoo, calling all kind of names. In voodoo, we don't have any money called ancestral money. It is not there. I have not heard about it. It is until recently I even know that Chinese have money and people are buying paper money that they bend the money and then their ancestors will get money in heaven and then send it. It's a lie. Not in African culture. In African culture, they will tell you to cook food for your ancestors or pour libation for them. And those are the things we do. We will not tell you to bring money and they will send to your grandfather in heaven so that he can send you more. Where is your grandfather in heaven where he's going to send the money?
Sena Israel says, Daddy, I missed the team. Wish I was part of the team for the trip.
Oh, Sena, that like I had explained, I don't tell people when I am traveling because I'm very controversial. When I say I'm a controversial person, it's not on a negative tone because the things I do, a lot of people don't like it. The truth that I speak, a lot of people don't like it. It is very painful to their ears. It pierces their ears when I am speaking truth. So a lot of people don't like me very much, but I don't care whether they like me or not. But I will not place myself into them to destroy me. That's why when I do things, I don't tell people.
He says, I'll be home waiting for you.
Yes, we'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back.
Ifadara says, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ifadara. Thank you.
A question from me too. Prince Henry, did voodoo ever get involved in human sacrifice in the past hundreds of years ago? If yes, what were the various purposes of human sacrifice? If no, why did it stop?
Who is asking the question from YouTube?
Prince Henry.
Prince Henry. I had said earlier that every culture on this earth, whether European, Native American, Hispanic, African, Asian, Indian, wherever, had at one time in their spiritual quest and sacrifices had used human beings. Voodoo simply means spirit. The spirit can be Indian spirit, can be Chinese, Japanese, but it is if that comes to Africa, we will call it Indian voodoo, Chinese voodoo, or Akpalamafu voodoo, whatever. Voodoo just simply means spirit. So when you ask this question like whether voodoo had this, if human sacrifices had been done in any part of the world, the Incas, the Machu Picchu, and all these people, if they have done human sacrifices in voodoo, that means voodoo at one time had used human sacrifice. That's my answer to your question.
Miss Anita from UK says she's watching.
Thank you, Anita. Thank you for joining us.
And What is the difference between a shrine and a fetish? This is from Caritas.
I don't know the difference between a shrine and fetish. Somebody had asked that question earlier. Because when you say a fetish, what do you mean by a fetish? And what do you mean by shrine? Go back to the dictionary and give me the proper definitions of these two words. Then I can probably be able to give you answer. Because what do you mean by shrine and what is a fetish? A shrine is a building, a place where you pray to spirits. So what do you mean by difference between a shrine and a what?
Fetish.
A fetish. Which one is the fetish? And which one is the shrine? Ask questions that I can answer you well, please.
A question from YouTube again.
A question from YouTube, yes, go ahead.
From Hanu Ram.
Hanuram.
I went to an Ifa priest and he says I must make for science bracket a bow with 2 witches. I ran away quickly. Does that mean I am a witch?
No, because I don't know who you went to, and I don't know what the person saw around you, and I don't know whether you did a reading or you did not do a reading. If you don't do a reading, why should they ask you to do a vosa or a bow or sacrifice? If you did a reading, and they had asked you to do the vosa that or the ebo or the sacrifice that, or the ritual that follows the reading, and you ran away, it's your own problem. It's not the problem of the Ifa priest, but yourself, because you had gone to do a reading, and they saw certain things, and they told you that before you can change it, you should do this, you should do that. And if you run away, it's your own palaver. Hello?
Alex Lamy wants to know whether baobab tree can be referred to as Father Nature.
I don't know. I had explained what baobab tree is in my language, in my culture. If you want to call it Father Nature, maybe in another culture that's how it's called, but I don't know. I had already explained what baobab tree is, how we respect it.
This is Fox Summers. She's watching from US.
Please share it and let other people watch. Share it on your platforms. And those who are watching on YouTube, you should create the YouTube channels and connect with us so that whenever we are going to be online, you will be notified. So you must create your channels to link up with the Revolution platform and African Magic Temple so that you can, whenever we are going to do anything, you will be notified.
Abdul Haq says he's watching live from Hohoe now. He's pleased with your answers.
Oh, Abdul, how are you? Okay, me phone you that. Me tell me about the Hohoe do I mean? Me Facebook transmit to Hohoe lefi. Akpe. Thank you very much, Abdul. We are in Hohoe now and we are transmitting from Hohoe.
Ifa Baye Irewole says I am from Italy. I don't understand.
If you speak Spanish or you speak French, please send your questions. Senna and Pele are online in Japan, Tokyo, or Takasaki now, so that they can answer you or translate the question into English so that I can explain. So you type it on, they will respond and send to me, and you will get to know.
Kojo Mensa, good afternoon, watching from Maryland, US.
Oh, thank you very much, Kojo Mensa. Thank you very much for joining us. We are very grateful.
Willie Kwame,
Togwi. He's also guidance Togwi. Willie Togwi. Say what?
Says he wants to know whether you require special training to know how to understand the causes.
Yes, definitely, because everything you want to learn in life, you need to be trained. To be a good driver, you have to be trained to know how to drive, when to change which gear, and to know traffic lights and traffic signs, what to do. So it is in Voodoo or in any spiritual practice too. If you want to be a pastor, you have to go to pastor training to know how to be a pastor. If you want to be a well digger, somebody who digs well, you must be trained to know how to dig well and find water. So in voodoo or in Eve voodoo, if you want to know how to understand the cowries, you must be trained. But then also we have certain herbs that we call talking herbs. And for your cowries to be able to talk to you or speak to you very accurately, these herbs has to be embedded into the cowries. The cowries must be initiated into spiritual work so that it can talk. So this is how it is. So if you want to learn or know about how to divine or do divination by using cowries, yes, for sure, you need to be trained.
He also says safe trip back to the city.
Thank you very much, Toby. We are very grateful that you are watching us.
What is the meaning of voodoo from Dapuju?
The meaning of voodoo simply is spirit in Ewe language and in Fon language. Spirit. That's all that voodoo means.
Thank you, Efo, for this insight. We will learn our roots. Watching you from Finland, Emmanuel Osai Asari.
Oh, Emmanuel, thank you very much. Emmanuel Osai Asari. We are Osai. Osai Asari. Thank you very much for joining our Facebook Live on Revolution platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing with us. I am watching from Arkansas.
Okay, thank you. What's the name?
Takesha Davis.
Atakesha Davis from Arkansas. Thank you very much for watching us. We are very grateful. You know, sometimes when people ask questions, I'm not getting angry. I'm just not understanding why certain people ask certain questions. And I don't know which background they are understanding voodoo for before they ask those questions. That's why I answer the questions in such a harsh word, because to ask me a question about what is fetish and what is a shrine, and whether fetish and shrine which one is the bigger or whatever, I cannot understand the question, so I will not know how to answer. So I must use question to answer the question.
Are we all living now as reincarnated souls?
That is what the African culture believes, that people die and come back into this world. And you can only know who you were in your past life and what you are supposed to be in this life when you are initiated into certain kind of voodoos. For instance, Afa. When you are initiated into Afa, you will know who you were, and it will also tell you what you are supposed to do. They will teach you the ways that you have to know to live in this world. So it is a belief in the African culture, and I believe that it is a belief in all other cultures. Otherwise, the word reincarnation wouldn't have been in the dictionary, because there is a word called reincarnation that shows that people had reincarnated, or there is something, a process where people go and come back. So I mean, it is there. Whether you believe it or you don't believe it, it is not my problem. But I know, and I heard, and I also believe that in our culture, people come back.
Zion wants to know your contact details.
Our contact details and everything is on Revolution platform. It's on African Magic Temple platform. So you can always get us. Once you get onto those platforms on YouTube or on Facebook, definitely you will find us. We are there. We are there.
Robert says, hi, I am from Trinidad and Tobago. How do I become a spiritualist?
Robert, you can only, Robert from Trinidad and Tobago, you can only be a spiritualist when you learn how to be a spiritualist. You learn from people who teach you. You cannot be a driver if you don't learn driving.
Miss Anita Walker, she wants to know how she can get initiated with certain spirits and then learn to...
Anita, thank you for joining us again. What you can do to get initiated, there are certain voodoos that you can be given their seed online for protection and other things. But when you really want to work voodoo, you need to get a physical initiation whereby they will be reading, and during the reading they will know exactly what to do for you to get which voodoo wants to work with you. But being far away, I will advise that don't believe in anybody who say, "Oh, I will initiate you online." Yes, there are certain voodoos they can send to you, like Jokpata, like this. We can initiate you into Jokpata. We can send the bangle to you, send you the seeds, empower them. And when you receive the bangle and receive the seeds, we will now call you. Call us on the telephone, and then we will talk physically and empower you at that time. But the best form of initiation is to be physical. Either the priest is with you over there, or you travel to go to where the priest is, so that you can be initiated. Because during initiation, a lot of things happen. During real initiation, a lot of things happen, and there must be someone who is physically and who knows what he or she is doing to guide you. But by reading from book and say, because there was some time ago somebody asked us whether he can initiate himself. I told them, I don't know. If you can initiate yourself, go ahead, because I did not initiate myself. How can you initiate yourself? It's just like you baptize yourself, pour water on your head and say, "Oh, I am called Emmanuel." No. It's not happening like that. So best form of initiation is to be physical with the priest. And the priest will guide you. And then after the initiation, the priest also will check whether the spirit that is going to work with you or decide to work with you is going to work with you for real. And through divinations and some practical demonstration and checks, things become clear.
Prince from Malaysia wants to know whether voodoo can help when it comes to lotto numbers.
No, in my shrine we don't use our voodoo for lotto numbers, because we believe that for you to be rich or to get chances in life, you have to work for it. You don't sit down in a room and just be daydreaming and expect voodoo to give you money. Yes, what voodoo can do for you is that maybe when you start practicing by doing certain kind of rituals and baths, your dreams will become clearer. And then maybe through these clearer dreams, or inner self or your consciousness become sharper, and your vision of things that are not physical become sharper. But it is not like it will just send you number like what malams and people are doing, and people are deceiving us. You send us money, we'll give you a lotto number. No, we don't do it our shrine. But there's a possibility that when your inner eye become clearer, there's possibility that you can grab certain things, and when you stake lotto, you may win, but you may also not win. All depends on your inner self, how it can perceive things. But then in our shrine, we are not lotto number priests, or we are not a lotto number shrine.
Shaman Wisdom wants to know the essence of blood. Shaman Wisdom wants to know the essence of blood in voodoo.
Okay, the essence of blood in voodoo is that voodoo, we believe or we know, according to what we have seen and our ancestors have left down for us, is in the blood is life. And I believe that in Islam, they kill rams, they kill animals. People don't complain. In Judaism or Jewish worship, they kill chickens, they kill ram, they kill animals, and people don't complain. But when it comes to voodoo, the moment you kill a chicken, then people start questioning, why do you kill a chicken? When you the Jews practicing their kosher or whatever, the Muslims practicing their own. They kill rams, they kill animals, but it's fine. But when a voodoo man kills a chicken, then people start asking questions, why? Just because voodoo is not an established religion, whereby they have imams or have high hierarchies of bishops or popes to speak for it. And also, one, because our ancestors were defeated by the European. So it is said that the voodoo of the victors become the god, while the voodoo of the people who lose become devils. That's what it is in every culture. So the essence of blood in voodoo is that is the spirit you are feeding should get that life force through the blood and empower itself and become strong and be able to work the work you or the assignment that you have given to you. This is why we give blood to the spirits that we work with.
Paddy Fisher says, Papa, greetings from Atlanta, Georgia. When you do cowrie daily, when you do cowrie divinations, if I get it clearly, when is it advised to do the sacrifice, or do you keep track of the spirits and make the sacrifice once a year?
When you do cowrie divination by yourself, and if the cowrie divination tells you that you should give sacrifice, but most of the time you must be someone who has another third eye opening, or you must have a clairvoyant or clairaudience to know whether the voodoo is asking you to do a sacrifice or not to do a sacrifice. Because the cowrie sacrifices, unless from Dilogu, which is also like Fa, that will tell you certain things. Voodoo is not having a written formula whereby they will tell you that if the cowrie fall like this and like this is what the sacrifice you will do. No, I have not come across it. But the priests of voodoo or priests of voodoo or voodoo priests have got a training whereby they have insight, they have hearing and seeing. So when they are throwing the cowrie, they are at the same time also hearing and also seeing certain things. So there they can prescribe and tell you that in this reading that I have thrown now, it is saying that it is well. But then this is what you should do, that's what you should do, and then make things well. So then you will know what sacrifice to do. But just by throwing cowries down, and then you know what sacrifice to do, I have not come across it yet. Unless, of course, if you have a hearing and seeing abilities, then yes. If you have if your psychic eye is open, yes, you can know. But then they will tell you what to do. And if you have a psychic eye or your psychic eye is open, and they tell you or they told you what to do, then you follow whatever they told you to do. You can do it quickly, or you can ask them also. So long as they are able to tell you to do a sacrifice for them, they should also be able to tell you what time it should be done.
There's a question from YouTube. Santosan again. Have you heard of the name Dambala before? The serpent god who created the world, but I may be confused about the details. I might not.
Every culture has the name of the person who created the world. You should know that one. Dambala is not in my language. It may be in another person's culture. You know, when you go to East Africa, it is not Dambala that created the world. It is Nyami. So if you say that there is Dambala that created the world, same God that created the world, from which cultural point of view are you speaking? Are you speaking for the Ibis, or you are speaking for the Hausas? Are you speaking for the Kikuyu, or you are speaking for the Hosa? Or you are speaking for the Fulani? Which cultural background are you having that authority from? So tell me which cultural background. Then you ask questions to those people in that culture. In my culture, Dambala is not what created the world.
Kwesi Owusu Otibu wants to know whether witchcraft is real and can be cast out of a person.
Let me answer the question.
Kwesi Owusu Otibu wants to know whether witchcraft is real or not and can be cast out of a person.
Witchcraft is real, and whether it can be cast out of a person or not depends on who is doing the exorcism. Because spirituality is very deep. There are certain things certain people can do and other people cannot do. It's not general. It depends on the person's spiritual development. Witchcraft is part of God, as I said earlier in my other discussions on Facebook. It's part of God. It's part of God. So why not? If and the person has the power, yes, maybe you can tell the witch to leave you or get out. But you must also know who has the power and who doesn't have the power. Because witch is not a baby game whereby you just talk and say you cast witch out.
Emmanuel Osai Asari, thanks Stephen for this insight. It's good to learn our own African traditional spirituality. Watching from Finland.
Thank you very much, Osai.
Yanifa Mintosin wants to know what Voodoo can say about neurodermatitis.
I don't know what is neurohematitis, so I don't know what Voodoo can say about it. But then, if spirit can say anything about any sickness, then Voodoo can also say about it. But I don't know what is neurohematitis, so I cannot tell. What I don't know, I don't teach.
Perhaps Voodoo wants to know how he can acquire a gold as a Voodoo.
I don't know. I don't know. Go to the people who have a dream, then they'll give you. But there are Aingba Dero. Ganane no wono mi kaba pagwi pere wono mi aseta kwa achibona ucheyi tata ko camera kakura koi
Facebook.
we are rain is coming and we want to see if we can ask the heavens to help us to finish this before it falls. Nukune no nume na milo Akola siwa. Akola soko ile. Noko nuku denu mena ode. Amakpa the car koiro. The car up, the car down. One leaf, the one that is down. One that is down is this way, and the one at the top covers it. Mi ayo nko mi ado gbere ya mi kwere ma wa segbena mi eta mi le do koyo so okay nyentama I have to go there. Let's go there and be. Oh, you know what I did extra minute. So what we are doing here now is we are asking the heavens to give us a break so that we can be able to finish the ceremony before the rain. The clouds has gathered so thick, and in fact we haven't done this for a long time, but we are asking the heavens to give us a break so that at least we can finish the ritual and the ceremony of feeding Jokpata and the other produce here. We hope and we wish that the gods and the ancestors, the spirit of the earth, gives us the opportunity and hears our voice and wait for us. Okay. No. Oh, aku tapi abla ko se Yesu gba ko nche pe ku fito je gba lo aje bo ni do bi je ko pa ho ko din adu ma to le ta ti me ta je ko to me to yi na te pe ni ga fi le Facebook live mo me na ha olo ya me yo bo du ga je nke agudu ma to ji aba do gidi ba ha pe mi do ko mi na mi odo ile bo sia. Megako kamera ko pomo le ma yo hare ka bo no akpo ata ide koku me sagbo le kokoro nyo e je le part of the game e ko emi o bo tele me emi o mi atu ewu apete le fe na ne ba dolo mi pe da wa segbe na mi o ta segbe na mi ko enyu ma o si me mi le mmeje Jokpata kura be konu de ko gonwure ngbo jira mi de kuku no wa se ko wa se enyola There's one chicken one day. If you go to the chicken, people will be seeing the chicken being plucked. The feathers being plucked. That is the voodoo. Let me know. You see, Bokor bullet is grinding herbs. These are the herbs that we are going to use now to empower. We're changing the herbs for the voodoos that are here. We are going to empower them with these herbs so that they can be. Okay. These are the herbs that we are going to use to empower the voodoo. So when the people talk about voodoo is only herbs. The combination, like your telephone, like your mobile phone. When you open the mobile phone, you see some place they put what do you call it? Is it charcoal? Black rod. And then you see some places they will put a copper wire. Then some places you see some other things, plastics and all kind of this. All these things combine to be able to bring the telephone to you so that when you connect to the world or you connect to the network, then you see or you hear. So the same thing is voodoo. We are using nature as it is in its pure form, in the forms of herbs. So when we put them together, the combination is what is going to draw the energy from the outer space, from the psychic plane, to make things happen. So voodoo is only herbs. The knowledge of combining which herb and which herb brings this type of spirit or a psychic entity into the physical plane is what is called voodoo. And this is what the voodoo priest learns and then knows it and then use it. And then you think that he is above you. No, it's only knowledge, because he said that knowledge is power. Don't say anything before. Say you are begging God. We are not God. We are begging God that the rain shouldn't fall. You all have seen the sky already, and the rain is about. It's a very heavy and dark clouds there. But we are begging the heavens that they should give us chance. If they listen to us, then the rain will not come to disturb us. But if they say no, we don't have any choice because we are not gods. We are only pleading to the heavens to hear our prayer and let the rain clouds move away for a while until we are done with the service, whatever we are doing now, so that they can come back later. That's all that we are doing.
A question from YouTube.
This is the demonstration of voodoo. If it works, you will see. If it doesn't work, we know that maybe something is not right. Yeah, a question from
YouTube. Raz1, sending greetings.
Okay, Raz, thank you very much. How are you?
You please speak on Akan Voodoo difference and similarities to our Voodoo. Are there Okonfo in our Voodoo?
Raz, the Akan Voodoo is called Akom. The Ebes call Voodoo or spirit Voodoo, and the Akans call it Akom. Then the Ebes call a person who is in charge of Akom, or the person in charge of a spirit, which is Akom, they call it Akomfuo. The Ebes, because they call spirit Voodoo, whoever is in charge of Voodoo is called Voodoosi or Huno or Bokor Musi. That's how it is called. So the comparison of voodoo and in Akan, which is Akom, and Akomfuo, that is called voodooshi or Huno or whatever name the ABC call it. So it is the same. It's not much different. It's just that the language is different, but we are dealing with the same thing.
Another question from YouTube. Seriam Gellison.
Was it a rain? Me too, you remember. Take the. Let's see if the heavens are septic. We will be able to avoid it.
It's not funny.
Wait. Don't say so. Leave it. Let's. We are transmitting from Bokor, and we are trying some practicality in voodoo. If it works, we'll all benefit from it. So it's a learning process. We don't have power. Two me better. Two hot. Two amele women. Wait. So the rain is coming, and we are waiting and see. And the clothes are not. I take this one. So, move into the region, we'll see how far it will fall. Wait, come on here.